Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez appeared on 60 Minutes last night and was interviewed by CNN's own Anderson Cooper. Ever since her historic win in the 2018 primary, she has been the subject of endless fascination to the media, has become beloved by the left, even getting former pro-Hillary economist Paul Krugman to endorse her ideas, and has been the subject of an endless smear campaign by the right. So what does Anderson Cooper do? Host on the reportedly liberal news station CNN? Frame every question from that right perspective.
What you are talking about, just big picture, is a radical agenda compared to the way politics is done right now. Do you call yourself a radical? There are a lot of people in the Democratic Party, members of Congress, who are concerned that you're going to try to push the party too far to the left. This would require, though, raising taxes. You're talking about zero carbon emissions, no use of fossil fuels within 12 years?
That is the goal. It's ambitious. And
how is that possible? You're talking about everybody having to drive in electric cars.
So that was just a taste. I have the worst one coming up later. But what's incredibly frustrating is that these questions are presented from an establishment, even center-right perspective under the guise of objectivity. For example, Cooper consistently calls her and her policies radical and expresses concerns about pushing the party too far left, not giving any context into the fact that her proposals are actually overwhelmingly supported by the American people, which is the exact opposite of radical. More than 80% of registered voters support the Green New Deal proposal being pushed by progressive Democratic lawmakers, a new poll found. Here's another. The vast majority of Americans, 70%, now support Medicare for all, according to a new Reuters survey. Raising the minimum wage, that's overwhelmingly supported too. However, none of that is even implicit in Cooper's framing, but here's the one that really got me.
Do you believe President Trump is a racist?
Yeah, no question.
How can you say that?
Alexandria goes on to explain the obvious, but I don't know, Anderson, how can you say that?
Today, the President of the United States once again embraced the message of racist, bigoted bullies. This time, of course, it was in response to racist comments he made last Thursday about Haiti, El Salvador, and Africa. Given some of this president's words and deeds in just the past year, it might seem normal for him to embrace the hate propaganda from a British extremist group. It might seem normal, but it is not. NBC, Facebook, and even Fox News have decided to no longer run a Trump campaign ad that had been widely criticized, not only factually incorrect, but racist. CNN decided early on not to run the ad.
So Anderson Cooper knows that the president is a racist. That's as clear as day based on the multiple seething segments he's done on the topic. So why ask that question? Why perpetuate the illusion that there is any doubt about the matter? That only helps Trump. If you already are positive about the answer and have been drilling that message to your viewers on CNN, why act incredulous when Ocasio-Cortez articulates that as fact? Well, it's a symptom of one of the media's biggest problems, an obsession with creating the illusion of objectivity. But, as we saw in the earlier questions posed by Cooper, the framing is certainly not objective. It is framed from an establishment perspective, and that brings us to an even bigger problem. The mainstream media thinks that it's objective when it's actually entirely subjective. It's a megaphone that asks questions from an establishment bias, and they are entirely unaware of that bias. That's why they hate Donald Trump, but also why they have distaste for people like Bernie Sanders and, to a lesser extent, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Media members, be honest about your bias. Ask honest questions, not ones where you already know the answer, Anderson Cooper. That's how to do journalism right in this era.